The town of Barnstable's water system is represented here on this map. You can see the green lines. Those represent the water pipes that extend throughout Hyannis and form all 119 miles of the network that brings water to your homes and to your businesses every day, all around the clock. The water system, Hyannis water system, serves about 18,000 people year round. And then in the summer, as you might imagine, that number increases quite a bit to 35,000 people. And the system does hundreds and hundreds of tests. They comply with all the state and federal health regulations. Massachusetts regulations are much stricter than the federal standards, and Hyannis meets all of them. You can see on the map right here, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, what the infrastructure involves there. So you can see the red starred locations is where the locations of water treatment facilities are. There is the Mary Dunn facilities in the north of the system, the Maher facilities just a little to the south of it there. Should put my cursor over here. And then the Straightway facility down here in the Hyannisport area, and then really on that same essentially piece of property, which we're going to dive into and look at in very much more detail in a second, the Hyannisport and Simmons Pond facilities. So all these, the areas represented in the stars, there's a total of 12 wells, there's 6 treatment buildings, and then there's auxiliary buildings, storage. So really, due to increases in water usage during the summer months, all of the Hyannis water system wells and treatment facilities must operate continuously to meet demand. So the Hyannis Water has been constructing upgrades in stages to improve water quality, reliability, and resiliency while maintaining consistent operations. So the next thing we're going to do is zoom a little bit into the project area, Straightway Hyannisport area here, and I'll look at the site in more detail. So here on this slide, you can see the project location here. It's adjacent to Smith Street, but also adjacent to Straightway. And there's a lot of existing infrastructure on the site already. And there's a lot going on in this slide, but don't get overwhelmed. I'm gonna zoom into the components of it in a moment. And these facilities have a lot of components that have been constructed over time to help increase the amount of water and improve treatment. And these are projects that have to kind of happen in stages because the water system has to keep running all around the clock, especially in the summer. So this is really the next step in the program, improvements to the areas shown here on the map. So you can see this overview over here. Straightway is here running sort of north-south, and one entrance to the site comes in off of Straightway. There's a number of facilities there. Everything in the blue boxes is proposed, but everything in the orange, and it's hard to see here, but we'll zoom in a moment, is already existing. So the point here is there's a lot of infrastructure already on the site. There's a tank, there's a treatment facility up in the northern part, the Straightway part, and then down in the Hyannisport Simmons Pond area, there's a treatment facility, pump station, and wells down there as well. Whoops, I just scrolled by accident way ahead. I'm sorry about that. Okay, don't move the mouse wheel. Okay, so just to give you an overview of the project purpose of this project, and then we'll, as I said, get into looking at the site in more detail. The outcome of the project is to maximize the permitted capacity of Hyannis water system. Some of the wells have declined in their yield over time. We also are going to increase the amount of water the wells can supply, allow the water treatment facility to be operated year-round instead of only in the summer months, improve the water treatment process itself to further improve water quality, and then protect the wells and buildings from flooding. As you'll see in a moment on the maps, some of the infrastructure is in areas prone to flooding, and make other improvements to improve the overall system resiliency and the ability to keep running even in the event of a storm or other outage. So I just wanted to summarize some of the needs and challenges that this project plans to address. On the left here, you can see a list of needs and challenges that are driving this project. And then on the right, the corresponding solution or outcome. So part of the facility is not winterized. There are PFAS treatment filters that have been installed at the site. They were installed quickly so to get them up and running, and they're not winterized yet, so they can't be used year round. So what we're going to do in this project is build an enclosure over those PFAS filters so the system can be operated in the winter. And the next issue or challenge is that 2 of the 4 wells, the Simmons Pond and the Hyannisport wells, are not supplying as much water as they could be. And we will be replacing the wells with new wells. That means actually redrilling the wells to maximize the permanent capacity. And that's a pretty typical process that happens when wells are of certain age and really not functioning as designed. Third, the Simmons Pond and Hyannisport wells and the Hyannisport water treatment facility buildings are located in areas prone to flooding, which again, I'll walk you through those maps. And so we're planning to move or relocate the new wells at a higher elevation out of the floodplain. And also all treatment is going to be handled up in the north part at the Straightway site. So really all of the most important processes of the site will be at higher elevations out of flooded areas prone to flooding. The fourth item is that naturally occurring iron and manganese from the groundwater is clogging the filters, the PFAS filters. It makes them more expensive to operate. They're still operating as designed, removing all the PFAS. It just makes it so they have to be cleaned more often, and it takes time and is more expensive. So this project will add a new treatment system, pre-filter system to remove iron and manganese before the water passes through the PFAS filters. Fifth, there's a contaminant called 1,4-dioxane that is present in the groundwater. It's at low levels but they are close to the Massachusetts guideline of 0.3 milligrams per liter. So it's currently below the limit, but it's close enough that when we're making these improvements, we want to make sure to remove that contaminant from the water. So we are going to be adding a new treatment technology to remove that. This is really all the same improvements that were done at the Maher treatment facility some years ago. Lastly, the treatment and pumping infrastructure is undersized at the moment. When we make all these improvements, that infrastructure will need to be able to pump more water to keep up with the new capacity of the plant. So this is going to be able to maximize the permanent capacity of this facilities. Okay. So next, let's go ahead and start looking at the portions of the site where the project improvements will be. This is the Straightway portion of the site. It's really all connected. All of this land is owned by the water system and the town. But this is the northerly portion that's the entrance is off of Straightway. And right now, what's animation? So let me show you what's out of the site already. Again, the orange boxes are the orange shapes are things that already exist. This building here is the Straightway water treatment facility that exists. It also has wells 1 and 2 inside it. And this building will be kept in place. We need to keep it there because the wells that supply the water from the site are in there. There's also a water storage tank. That's where, the treated water flows to the storage tank. And from there, it gets pumped by this booster station out into the street and out into the water mains and the pipes that run to your houses. The pumps in that booster station will need to be upsized. The one major thing is the winterization of the existing GC filters. So if you look at this picture over here on the bottom right, you can see some of these features, the storage tank that's already there. Over here in the background is those existing filters that are removing PFAS, but are not winterized. So those have to be drained every winter, taken out of service until the following spring. And then really the new feature will be this new Straightway treatment facility, which I'll show you a little bit more about in a moment. Here's another picture of those existing filters that are in place, but not winterized. As I said, those have to be turned off in the winter. So what are the improvements going to sort of look like? So right here in red, I've highlighted the winterization of the filters. That'll be right here. And this is just an architectural rendering of what the facilities are going to look like. It's very similar to a project that the Hyannis Water System already did over up at the Mary Dunn area, similar type structure, climate controlled enclosure on top of that existing slab. And this is going to be critical for year-round resiliency. And it really represents the final stage of the sort of short-term emergency project that was constructed in 2019 to get those filters running. This is another really just a photo or sorry, an architectural drawing of the what the building will look like. It's going to have a slanted roof, which will be able to accept solar panels to make it more efficient. And it needs to be fairly tall in order to house these tall filters. So we have the existing unwinterized filters and then this new building in order to maximize the capacity of the site needs to add additional GC filters. And then here's the iron and manganese removal. And then behind them are the other treatment processes and features. Okay, next I'm going to show you the southern portion of the site, the Hyannis Port part of the project. So just to orient you, this is Smith Street down here. It hits Craigville Beach Road, and then Straightway is this road here. So here you can see what's existing already is really two buildings. The Hyannis Port Well and Water Treatment Facility here in the orange. It's really close to Smith Street. Here's a photo of it on the right of what that building looks like. So there is a pumping well inside that building. And then the other existing facility is the Simmons Pond well and pump station. And that's this photograph on the top right. That facility is really close to the edge of the pond. And both of the facilities are pretty close to, or rather they're within the 500-year flood zone. So not like prone to flooding on a very frequent basis, but they certainly are prone to flooding. And, you know, as climate change increases, more likely in the future to flood. So, you know, it's important to get that infrastructure out of that flood zone. What we're planning to do to replace and improve is to move those facilities. It's hard to see on here because they don't have contour lines, but these new small blue boxes are definitely at a higher elevation. Might be easier to see on the next slide, but those will be moved up and out of that flood zone and less likely to actually impact the pond. So there's many reasons to make those adjustments. So let's take a look briefly what the concept of this might be. Again, moving the replacement well, excuse me, to the north gets it several feet higher in elevation, which makes a big difference. Same thing with the Simmons Pond well here. And that will be a new pump station, new generators. And then eventually we intend to demolish the older structures and restore those areas. But, you know, it's not pretty simple buildings, very small, not a lot there because all the treatment of the water will all be treated up north at the Straightway new facility. So the water will be pumped from these wells. It already is pumped from these wells and goes up to the Straightway facility. But there are some treatment processes in the existing structures that will be relocated up there. That is really the all the components of the project. I wanted to just briefly leave you with a little bit of rough schedule and next steps. So we're in the middle of design right now, working very hard towards a goal of getting 60% in September. and then getting final design completed later in the fall to the early winter. Before finalizing design, we will be filing an environmental notification form and an environmental impact report. It's required through MEPA, and that is an opportunity for public comment. We anticipate filing such that the public comment period would be from mid-September to mid-October. I'll show you in a moment. Their town has a website where you can check back for more information. But as I said, we will continue to design into the fall and winter, incorporating feedback from that MEPA process. And then the town intends to start the bidding and contract award process in the spring. And then most likely fall of 2025 construction would start. So there's many components to this project and a lot to construct. We're anticipating approximately 2 years duration of the construction. And the last thing I have to share is really, again, I mentioned the town has set up a website where you can get more information. You can get a copy of these slides. The QR code here should go to that website. I think you can also, if you go to the water department page, you can find it there, as you can see here in the screenshot. And with that, I'm happy to take questions myself or the town. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Kirsten. And I'd be happy to unmute any of the residents that are present if anybody happens to have any questions.
And you can actually raise your hand and indicate that you have a question by using the React button at the bottom tab. And if you click on that and scroll above, it says raise hand. And that's how you can indicate that you have a question, and then Matt will be able to unmute you.
Thank you, Kate. I appreciate that.
I don't know why Zoom recently decided to hide raise hand under the heart react button, but that's it makes it a little bit more confusing for folks.
And I apologize if anybody's making a request to comment. I'm not seeing any questions coming through at this point in time, though. I'm happy to leave things open for another minute or two just to hopefully work through any of the kinks, but we will close the meeting in probably
Matt,
about. Oh, there we go.
hello. I unmuted myself.
Hi,
This is
Sandra.
Sandra Walker. I live on Straightway. So I just had a quick question about the project itself. When it does take place, would we expect or should we expect any variance or difference in the water? Will it affect, you know, the water that we see coming through our pipes or in the showers, or what would that look like?
Want me to take that, or you want to give that, Matt or Hans? I'm happy to.
I was waiting to see if Hans wanted to jump in here or anything along those lines.
I can answer that question to the best of my abilities. Basically, our goal within the Hyannis water system would be that you will not notice any difference except the water will be better quality. That's the goal. The reality is that sometimes when you do construction, you know, stuff happens. But the goal is no, you should not see anything negative. You should get better quality water.
Great, thanks so much. And just a follow-up, and your office or the town will continue to communicate with the residents throughout this whole process. So we'll be reminded that this is happening at this time, correct?
Yes, that will happen via the engineering part of DPW And
Mhm.
Matt Roble is the senior project manager, so he will be in charge of construction communication.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
I had a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we had a lot of trouble connecting and actually just connected 2 minutes ago. We live on 424 Craigville Beach Road, very near to where this project is taking place. My question is it all underground? Will there be any above ground structures left when it's done? I don't know if we missed some of that, but maybe you could answer that question, please.
The answer is yes. There are already quite a lot of structures at both locations, especially the northerly portion off of Straightway. You may not see them because they're kind of tucked in the back in this property. Right now at the Straightway site, there's a tank. Let me show you the photographs. If you came late, you must have missed these. Here's a picture of what's already there. There's a storage tank. There's unwinterized treatment system that's removing PFAS. There's this building, Straightway building. So the orange blocks or the orange items are things that are already there, and the blue are things that are proposed. So yes, we will need to construct a building for all of the new treatment infrastructure, which is, here's a picture of that, as I mentioned earlier. Again, this is back in the woods. So
Is it in the woods behind Straightway or behind Craigville Beach Road or?
Straightway. This is Straightway. Sorry, forget my cursor is like over on this screen, and I should have had it over here. Excuse me. This is Straightway right here, running north.
Yeah.
So it's back in, off of Straightway.
And what was there before all of this project? Was there a home there? Was it owned by the town?
This has been owned by the town for a long time. It's been water infrastructure for how long? Do you know, Hans? This is already.
Yeah, it's there used to be wells there since the 1960s. And the existing Straightway treatment station was built in the 1990s. The water storage tank was built around 2010. So a lot of these facilities have been there quite a while. It's tucked away behind Straightway into the woods. So driving up and down Straightway, you don't even see them because they're too far in the woods. But yes, there is going to be a new building around the filters that are outside right now. So, you know, that's going to be a new building. And then a new building around that's brand new that Kirsten mentioned for our major treatment plant.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and over on the Hyannisport side, which is closer to Craigville Beach Road, this existing facility is in a picture here. You can see that from the road almost. And that will be moved a little bit further off, so it will be less visible, the new structures at this part of the site. That helps.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I would just like to note that we had another participant join the meeting a moment ago, Kathy. So I'd like to just give her the opportunity to get up to speed on the project a little bit and bring her into the loop that would become the question and answer period following the presentation. If there are any specific questions that you happen to have, Kathy, we'd be happy to take that at this time or run through any aspects that you were curious about.
Yeah, and the slide and recordings will be up this link, right, Matt?
Exactly. I would like to note that at the beginning of the meeting, I did make a mistake. I thought I had hit the record to cloud option that we have for uploading the meeting. So the first couple minutes of the meeting, including the introduction and legal statement related to the meeting being recorded, may have been cut off. So the remaining portions after Kirsten had started her slideshow should be recorded and captured, but depending on if I had truly made that mistake at the beginning or not, the first minute or two of the presentation may be cut off. But remaining portions will be posted to the Town of Barnstable website, and I'm happy to follow up with anybody should there be comments.
One small question, what number on Straightway is the entrance to this facility, or what road off of Straightway? I mean, how would we even get to look at it?
228.
228, okay,
Yeah. It's,
okay.
there's a locked security gate there for the
There's a
security.
security
Okay,
gate.
yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there's an automatic gate to keep everything safe.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the other piece of this project takes place at the Hyannisport and Simmons Pond facilities, which their closest address, I believe, is 231 Smith Street. It's
I
for
think
the
it's
southern portion.
132, actually.
Or sorry, I'm getting my numbers mixed up there.
Yeah. 132.
So if you're familiar with that area, it's the black,
Yes, yeah,
the black gate that's there with chain link or chain wrapped around it is the other access point to this facility.
I see.
Okay.
Okay.
and when do you anticipate doing all this work?
So right now we're in the middle of design. Here's the schedule. Design will continue into the winter, and then in the spring, the town will seek bids from construction contractors. Most likely, the construction would start in the fall of 2025.
So
Okay.
25 to 27, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, they seem pretty.
Yeah,
good.
there's multiple components involved, as you can see.
Are there any other questions from any of the other members from the audience? I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anybody.
Do you anticipate any permanent road closures, or will they be sort of be on and off during construction?
Yeah, I don't think there's, the work is largely interior to those parcels. When equipment is delivered, there are going to be some large deliveries of the filtration equipment, building materials. So there will need to be periodically, detours most likely for that. But the road, we're not anticipating really anything to do with the piping in the roadways. But yes, in order to get large deliveries from trucks delivering equipment for building and for the process equipment, there will be periodic closures or lane closures, I would say. But nothing that should be extensive.
Thank you.
Okay. Leave the meeting live for a couple more minutes until maybe about 6:40, 6:45 or so, just in case any other questions come up. But otherwise, this meeting will be posted on our website, and my contact information has been provided in the notification letter that you all had received, and that is posted on our website. And I'd be happy to communicate with any of you should other follow-up questions come up.
Matt, do you mind if I talk for just 2 seconds?
Of course, Sam.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sam Wilson. I am the chair of the Barnstable Municipal Water Supply Board. So we are your fellow citizens who oversee the Hyannis water system and are ultimately overseeing this project. I just want to thank everyone who came out tonight to learn more about this project. I think it's going to be a great improvement to our water system for both quantity and quality of water. And I want to thank Hans for his hard work. Matt for his work leading this, and everyone, the Kleinfeld team for their hard work on this as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. I'm glad that you were able to join us tonight.
Did you get a lot of rain on the Cape today? Help that
Yeah,
out,
just
water table?
a little soggy.
Well, we're Stu and Fran Cooper. We own the home at 325 Straightway. And I just want to thank you all for a very informative and well-presented discussion and show. So we can really appreciate what goes into our faucet every time we turn it on. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also want to thank you for being both explicit and forthcoming with all the information. That's very helpful and also very reassuring. My name's Jim Tryant.
Thank you very much, Jim and Stu and Fran. The comments are very much appreciated, and we always welcome the feedback of our customers. And that's kind of the goal of this meeting, was transparency, and then also giving you guys the opportunity to learn about the project that's going to be in your backyard.
Okay, thank you.
I think at this point, as long as there are no further questions from the public, I'll give you guys one more opportunity, but otherwise I think that we can probably close out on the meeting, and I wish everybody a wonderful night, and thank you for your time so far today.
Thank you, everybody.
And also thank you to the members of the Kleinfelder team and both of our language translation service providers. Appreciate you guys taking the time to one, contribute to everything that goes into this project, and then also for helping communicate to our customers both the need for this project and also how we're trying to involve them in the process.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
All right.
Okay. Well, without further ado, hope you guys all have a great rest of your night, and look forward to continuing to communicate about this as we move forward through design and construction. Thank you very much, and have a nice night.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.